One, at the last hearing, members of the public wore T-shirts that said "F the sheriff." Therefore, he fears for his safety.
Oh, that's interesting.
Number two, that testifying at this commission would be too stressful for him and hurt his health. So the commissioner here, who is, I know this, Rob Bonner, was a former federal judge in L.A., went on at some point, he was the head of the DEA for a while. And he said, well, this is really interesting. I'm paraphrasing now. He said, oh, this is really interesting. How can he do his job as the undersheriff if his health is so delicate? And that what he should do is either come here and testify or resign and take medical leave because he's got no business holding that job if he's that delicate.
Wow.
Oh, no, he's gone, everybody. Oh, no. Uvalde School District Police Chief Pete Arredondo has resigned from his position on the city council because... Don't look at the story. Look at me.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be a...
Oh, he doesn't want to be a distraction.
Yes, he doesn't want to be a distraction. I don't think he wants to spend more time with his family this time around, but he doesn't want to be a distraction.
Also, he'd already missed 2 meetings, and you can only miss 3. And when they gave him, the council was asked, or he asked the council if he could take, I think, like a leave of absence, and they were like, no. So this probably would have been week 3 anyway.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he knew that what happened was going to happen when he said, I'll be the chief of the school police department and city council.
Right. But
and I'll be assistant manager at the 99-cent store. And I'll try to be the drum major for the local community college too.
It's
got some naked ambition on him.
You've grown up in a small town, I see.
And his career.
Oh my gosh, my computer, hold on. Wait for me. 3,
really?
2, 1, and here we go. All right. So you had this felon arrested after he went back to a restaurant to get his gun. And most people would say, oh, well, whatever. You leave your gun in the, let's say in the seat or something. Okay, you go back and get it. Well, it's a problem when you're in possession of an illegal firearm and you're a felon and it's a ghost gun.
He left his ghost gun. The restaurant workers found it in the booth, called the cops. So a sheriff's deputy, San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy, is there at the restaurant, and this guy pops back in. Hey, I left my gun. Oops. He also had on his person, according to this, methamphetamine and ecstasy.
Wow.
So
he was a party.
Too smart. I think if you leave your ghost gun behind at a restaurant, just leave it, because they can't trace it to you anyway.
That's a good point.
Mm-hmm. Robert Blake should have thought about it. Oh, a Florida man was arrested. Wait, I don't know whether to tell you what he was arrested for first or tell you about his tattoo.
First, what he was arrested for.
He was arrested for throwing a hot dog at a police officer.
Somehow that's far less interesting than his tattoo.
He was selling hot dogs in the roadway.
As some people do.
He had a permit. This actually becomes this tangled web of municipal procedure. There must have been a festival or something, okay? It doesn't say that specifically here, but I'm inferring it, because he had a permit. He had a street closure permit. So there must have been something going on that closed down the street lawfully. And he was selling hot dogs, but then the permit ended. It expired. And so the cop said, hey, you got to pack up the hot dog stand, buddy. And he threw a hot dog at the cop,
who was in full uniform at the time of the incident. I appreciate the story pointed out.
Well, I think that is to make clear that he knew it was a cop that he was throwing a hot dog at. And in any event, when you are arrested, they log your tattoos. So he has a tattoo that says hustle, eat, sleep, repeat.
Fantastic.
And also, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger.
Oh, that's that Kelly Clarkson song. He's a Kelly Clarkson fan.
Here it is. He likes Kelly Clarkson and Sandy Koufax and Oscar Mayer. Those are his big heroes. Hey, he's looking at a minimum. This is what's crazy. If this is correct, a minimum of 3 years in jail if convicted.
Assault on a police officer, right?
Felony battery on a law enforcement officer resisting an officer with not using violence. Although, based on the ingredients in a lot of hot dogs, I would think throwing a hot dog at an officer could be assault with a deadly weapon if any of it got in the officer's mouth. Those nitrates?
Oh, and what if the guy had issues with sodium? And then he ends up with hot dog?
Yeah, what if the cop had high blood pressure? He got some sodium-laden hot dog in his mouth.
Can we end with number 17? Because I absolutely love me some Minions.
Oh, well, Minions The Rise of Gru brought in an estimated $108.5 million in ticket sales in North America in its debut on 4,391 screens. And they say by the end of today, it will likely have earned over $127 million. The biggest opening ever for a... Really? The biggest ever for a July 4th holiday weekend, meaning this earned more money than Transformers Dark of the Moon. When that opened on July. I guess not that many movies open on July 4th weekend.
Here's the other thing, too, that I think is big about this. This is one of the first animated films to come out post-pandemic. And so I'm wondering if this is the first time that parents are like, all right, kids, we can go back to the theater. Like, this was the test run. But a lot of people did the test run.
I know what the calculus is with the parents. Potentially exposure to COVID.
Yeah.
Higher prices. Yeah. The gas to get there costs a lot more. Weighed against, will this shut them up for 95 minutes?
Priceless.
Yeah. That's handle on the news. Thank you very much. When we come back, I guess flying is not going to be super fun for a while, and some of the reason has to do with not enough pilots, and it's not just that the airlines have to hire more pilots, they have to make sure the pilots actually show up for their flights. We'll get into that discussion here. It's KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart app. Happy 4th, YouTube. Thanks.
KFI
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app.
Let's keep talking about those flights. I'm Jennifer Jones Lee, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. Thousands of flights have been canceled or delayed during the 4th of July holiday weekend. Travel demand and staffing shortages, along with stormy weather in parts of the country, have presented challenges for the airline. This passenger got stuck at LAX.
We got delayed on our first flight, and we had to switch flights, and we're hoping it doesn't happen again because we have stuff to do and we want to get home.
CNBC says more than 12,000 American flights in July did not have a captain, first officer, or both on the schedule because of a scheduling software glitch. Wayne's going to talk more about all of this in just a few minutes. You've got professional fireworks displays all over Southern California. You've got the block party at Grand Park in LA. Huntington Beach is kicking off this morning with a race that starts in 2 minutes. Hollywood Bowl, Dodger Stadium, Universal Studios, Magic Mountain, all places that will have fireworks today. Also the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, where people have been taking fireworks laws very seriously.
Officials say they have recovered far fewer illegal fireworks in Pasadena this year than in previous years. Pasadena Fire Chief Chad Augustine says investigators recovered 25 pounds of fireworks as of late last week.
I think you could add a zero to that 25 pounds on a normal year of what would be seized or turned in, right, where people come to a fire station and turn in illegal fireworks.
Augustine says he thinks educating people about fire danger is paying off.
I think that the community understands that there really is a true threat.
Blake Trolley, KFI News.
A fleet of aircraft designed to help fight fires has returned to duty for the Southern California summer. The Quick Response Force includes 2 large Chinook helicopters. This is the second year that the force has been called up to strengthen the efforts of emergency responders during the peak of the fire season in SoCal. Well, the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th riot may make a criminal referral to the Justice Department against former President Trump. Wyoming Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney confirmed with ABC's Jonathan Karl.
The committee will or will not make a criminal referral.
We'll make a decision as a committee about it.
So it's possible there will be a criminal referral, which
Yes.
would
Trump has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing. A large chunk of glacier broke loose yesterday afternoon and slid down a mountainside in the Italian Alps, killing 6 people. The giant slab of ice sent ice shards, snow, and rocks into hikers who were on a popular trail at the peak. Authorities say 9 people have been hurt, in addition to those 6 who were killed. And the annual Independence Day Nathan's Hot Dog eating contest, that is, will take place on Coney Island in Brooklyn, and 14-time champion Joey Chestnut will compete with Joey's got a hurt leg.
It's the first year I've had a real injury, trying to work past it. I haven't won a contest all year, so I'm really hoping I can just find my happy place.
Oh, see, and this is going to be interesting because, when they eat all the hot dogs and then they kind of jump around so that they can get them, down the gullet and into the stomach. How's he going to jump around on a broken leg or whatever it is? He's got a cast on his leg. Chestnut downed a record 76 hot dogs and buns in 10 minutes last year. Oh, gross. Your SoCal weather from KFI. Looks like we've got a beautiful day ahead. Temperatures will just be in the upper 60s, low 70s at the beaches. Mid to upper 70s for Metro LA and OC. Upper 70s to the low to mid 80s for the valleys and the IE. Right now, let's get a look at your drive, and we're going back to Jeff Baugh, who's checking out now. Actually, Nick Palliocchini. You're taking over because, as Jeff mentioned a minute ago, that marine layer is crazy out there. So what's up on the 110 again? This has been our 4th of July trouble spot.
Definitely the case then for the drive on the southbound side of the 110. Getting through South LA, all southbound lanes do remain shut down. 110 southbound exposition as you make way toward Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. Now, that's a fatality crash investigation that does continue involving a pedestrian. You're seeing a pack-and-tight drive. 110 southbound coming away from the 10. Plan ahead for the 405 south, wide open for your drive out of West LA from the 10 to the 105 as you make way through the Hawthorne and Lenox area. 710 southbound as an alternate off the 5 as you make way toward the 105. Not looking too bad for the drive. Service street wise to the west of the 110. Plan for Western or Vermont Avenue. Both of those are looking good. To the east of the 110, Main Street, San Pedro Street, or even Central, just smooth sailing for your drive. Got an update on this problem or anything else slowing you down? Pound 250 on your cell phone. Keyword is KFI traffic. Ongoing problems for your drive as you're making way through the Sherman Oaks area. Northbound side of the 101 at the 405. Got a crash as the left lane shut down. Updating the map. Looks like that's going to be busy for you. Heading northbound on the 101 as you come away from Van Nuys Boulevard. Southbound 101 off the 405. Hollywood toward downtown. All looking like a pretty decent drive. KFI, this guy helps get you there faster. I'm Nick Palliocchini.
Are you planning on selling your home? Hey, it's Dean Sharp, the House Whisperer. Can I give you some important advice? Don't throw away your home's true money-making power by settling for one of those quick cash deals or selling as is. Settling is not what we do with our most valuable asset, and it could cost you tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Instead of settling, talk to the good folks at Revive Real Estate. Revive has a revolutionary renovate before listing program that maximizes the value of your home, but takes the stress out of pre-sale renovations. It's quick, it's easy, it's zero out of pocket, and on average, home sellers like you gain an additional $200,000. Let me say that again. On average, sellers gain an additional $200,000 in profit when they use Revive. There is a right way and a wrong way to sell your home. The wrong way is to settle. The right way is to talk to Revive. Get all the value out of selling your home at revive.realestate. That's revive.realestate.
Every search you make, every click you take, they'll be watching you.
Are you tired of being tracked online? There's a simple solution. DuckDuckGo. It's an all-in-one privacy app with a built-in private search engine, web browser, one-click data clearing, email protection, and more. All for free. Download the app today and get the most comprehensive privacy protection with a push of a button. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified. KFI.
More stimulating talk.
An iHeart radio station.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart app. Good morning. It's the Bill Handel Show on a July 4th. Bill on vacation. Some of the top stories we're watching for you. Oh, good news, bad news in Southern California. Good news, the weather's going to be fantastic. Warm but not crazy hot. Not too humid. Mostly clear skies for this 4th of July holiday. On the other hand, if you're trying to get here on an airplane, it may be a struggle because thousands of flights have been canceled. Airlines trying to keep up with demand. And speaking of that, flying will be not fun this summer. And some of you have to do it. Some of you want to do it, even though it's annoying. And honestly, flying on a great day is a little annoying, isn't it? But it's going to be extra annoying because of all the cancellations and the delays. And, for example, we've got about a 20% delay rate going on. Cancellation rate's about 3.5%, and that's bad. It's abnormally bad. The only time in, say, the last, 10, 20 years was in 2020. It was as bad or even a little worse in 2020 because, what was going on then with the pandemic. Now, we still technically, I guess, have a pandemic, but we don't have lockdowns. We don't have that kind of thing going on. And it's bad. And the airlines want you to believe, oh, there's bad weather. Oh, we don't have enough people to work on the flights. And some of that is certainly true. But now people who work for the airlines are saying, you know what? This industry has relied on being understaffed for a long time and underpaying people for a long time. But now it's starting to surface as a problem for you and for me as a regular old airplane passenger. Because you don't just have, I guess, a long-term feeling on the part of a lot of people working for the airlines that they're being underpaid, that the airline doesn't want to schedule enough people, they have to scramble, they have to do more than they should. Now you're getting in some real problems, particularly with the pilots. Now, the airport, this is what's interesting. You have airports and airlines, and part of your experience when you go get on a plane is the responsibility of the airport, like the security agents, for example. And then obviously, especially once you get on the airplane, those people are the airlines. The airports have done, and some of you are going to shake your head. Okay, I understand you may have had a bad experience, but the airports have done generally a pretty good job of making sure they have enough security agents and things like that. The last few times that I've flown, going through the security checkpoints wasn't that bad, even during times when the news was talking about, oh yeah, they're short of staff and there's a lot of people flying and you're going to want to allow even more time when you go to the airport. And this is LAX. We're talking about possibly the worst major airport in the world, maybe the worst major airport in the history of the world. And it still wasn't terrible at all. And this is before I had pre-check. I know I mentioned I had pre-check now. I know you're like, well, yeah, but you have pre-check. No. This is before, because I haven't had pre-check that long. And it wasn't that bad. But the planes themselves need pilots. And they don't have enough pilots in the airline industry. Generally speaking, every year you get between 5,000 and 7,000 new pilots get licensed to fly. They need to hire 13,000 pilots this year. There's just not enough people in the pipeline to meet the demand. And there's obviously a delay between identifying a potential pilot and having that pilot in an airplane. You got to interview them, go through the hiring process, go through the training that's specific for that airplane that they're going to fly. So the airlines, they're not being as proactive as they could be. And this is why you're seeing the tension between pilots and the airlines and protests and things like that. Then something happened in American Airlines. They have this software system that pilots can go into in order to trade flights with other pilots. I'm supposed to fly from St. Louis to Baltimore. I don't really want to. Somebody else want to take that from me. Well, there was a glitch. And the glitch in this system allowed American Airlines pilots to drop trips when they normally wouldn't have been able to. Because you can imagine, during certain peak travel times, the airline is going to limit you saying, I don't want to take this flight, somebody else take it. Well, this glitch allowed pilots to drop any flight they wanted, whether they normally would have been able to do it in the system or not. And so they find themselves now, especially for the month of July, American Airlines finds itself with not enough people to man all kinds of flights. And there's a significant percentage of flights for July that they don't have a captain, or they don't have a second pilot, or they don't have either. And so they are talking about, and by they I mean American Airlines, they're talking about significant bonuses for pilots to come in and pick up a flight that somebody else got. And I've read different, that in some cases you get a 17% pay increase, and then I read somewhere else that depending on what leg it is, that a pilot could see a 300% bonus for picking up that flight. Now, that's all information. You could go out and see all that same information that I just said. Here's the part that's only in my head. Pilots and airlines have been having bad relations for a while now. And then there's this big computer glitch. And the result of the computer glitch is that American Airlines really is scrambling to get those flights covered, offering significant bonuses to pilots who will succeed. Do we think some pilot-friendly hacker got in there and set this up on purpose to send a clear message to American Airlines that your pilots are super important and you better be nicer to them, and also to create the opportunity now for some of these pilots to make massive extra bucks? I'm not saying I believe that. It just seems the timing is interesting, that it happens during a time when the airlines are already short-staffed, and that could they have known the amount of bonuses that would be offered. Bottom line, if you're going to fly this summer, it's probably not going to be super delightful. All right, when we come back, gas prices are high here. Let's compare our prices to the rest of the world, and also what our government's doing compared to what they're doing in the rest of the world over the high gas prices. This is KFI 8640 live everywhere on the iHeart app, and here's Jennifer Jones-Lee live from the 24-hour KFI newsroom.
Pope Francis is denying recent reports suggesting he'll retire soon. He did an interview with Reuters over the weekend and talked about some of the rumors of his cancer diagnosis and said, the doctors didn't tell me anything about it. China's upset with NASA's administrator for saying it might take over the moon. In an interview with a German newspaper over the weekend, Phil Nelson said we must be very concerned China's landing on the moon and saying, it's ours now, you stay out. And the last surviving Medal of Honor recipient from World War II will lie in honor at the U.S. Capitol today. Herschel Whitty Williams died in West Virginia last Wednesday at the age of 98. From the Driveway.com Weather Center, we've got a beautiful sunny day ahead with highs from the upper 60s at the beaches to the mid-80s inland. This report is brought to you by the Auto Club of Southern California. Let's get a look at that drive on the 101.
Looking at the rough one for you on the northbound side is midway through Sherman Oaks. At the 405 at the correct of the left lane shut down. That's going to cause you some heavy delays heading northbound on the 101. Seeing delays from as far back as Van Nuys Boulevard. Ongoing problems for you in South LA. 110 South is all lanes still shut down for your drive. 110 southbound from Exposition to Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard due to an ongoing fatality. Crash investigation involving a pedestrian. That's going to be packed tight for your drive coming off the 10. Plan to the 405 southbound or the 710 southbound as alternates to the 110 to save some time this morning. KFI in the sky helps get you there faster. I'm Nicole O'Keefe.
With AAA's legendary roadside assistance, they'll cover you in any car, SUV, or pickup truck, whether you're the driver or passenger. Join AAA today for 50% off with 3 free associates. Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. Visit AAA.com for details.
This report is sponsored by Blindster. Do you need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. Don't overpay for new blinds. Shop Blindster today and save big. Blindster.com.
Hey, it's Dean Sharp. I am so proud of my solar company, Sunlight. Not because they're a sponsor, but because I happen to think they're the best solar in town, and I'm not alone in that thought. When Tesla went looking for a company it could trust with its new solar ecosystem, Tesla chose Sunlux too. Now Sunlux has their panel, the patented mounting system, and yes, the Powerwall battery. It's the most advanced solar in the industry, and it's all waiting for you at sunlux.com. That's sunlux.com. CSLB 1008374.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone. Adults, teens, millennials. But it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Hey, Mario Lopez here. And saving California's water starts with a few simple things in and outside your home. And you know the Lopez family is doing what we can do to help. Like, did you know fixing water sprinkler leaks can save 27 to 90 gallons of water per day? Or that adjusting your sprinklers to water plants and not pavement helps a lot. Let's do this, Callie, and make water saving our way of life. Find more water saving tips we can use at home. Save our water.
Save on ribs for your summer celebrations at Whole Foods Market. Get pork baby back ribs for $6.99 a pound through July 6th, while supplies last. Plus, Prime members get an extra 10% off. See more on the Whole Foods Market app.
KFI AM 640.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the
Good
morning, Joe's on vacation. And happy July 4th to the United States of America. Some of the top stories we're watching for you at KFI. 3 people were killed, 4 others were critically wounded in a shooting at a Copenhagen shopping mall on Sunday. The authorities there say it is not terrorism. And Governor Newsom is, of course, running for re-election in California. Starting today, he's running ads in Florida, taking pot shots at the governor there, Ron DeSantis, and his policies, and encouraging Florida people to either fight or move to California, where gas prices are amongst the highest in the nation, as per usual. And they're all paying more for gas. And I know that the trend over the last few days has been that the price is going down, but it seems like it never goes down as fast as it goes up. So here's an interesting data point. Filling half a tank of a Toyota Camry. This is the Washington Post. Somebody, a reporter or a researcher at the Washington Post figured this out. Filling half a tank of a Toyota Camry costs about $40. I don't know how you can get that number. Where are you buying the gas? What year Camry do you have? Does every Camry have the same tank capacity? But in any event, I guess in an attempt to get to a number that can be used to compare to other things, this is what they get. About $40 to fill half a tank of a Camry. If you're driving, they've chosen a 2010 Camry for this. You would get about 32 miles a gallon, and so $40 will get you 250 miles down the road. And then they go on to say, but how far does $40 take you in the rest of the world? Okay, so this is a very convoluted way to get to the question, what do they pay for gas in other countries? Let's examine this. You know, when I was growing up, I remember being told quite regularly by my dad that, hey, you know, over in Europe, they pay 3, 4, 5 times as much as gas as you think gas is expensive here, you have no idea. The United States actually has, you know, some of the cheapest gasoline in the world. And I remember occasionally you'd see a news article or something that would talk about, you know, petrol costs in Europe. And yeah, it's pretty pricey. Definitely. But let's go through some of these because there's some surprises coming. France. Everybody loves France. Gas currently about $8.11 a gallon. Last summer, $7.01 per gallon. In a country with an average annual income of $33,000. So, what are they doing about it? France has been giving motorists a rebate on fuel and then reimbursing the gas stations for the lost revenue. And they say that it's cost the government over $2 billion so far. South Africa, where the average annual income is about 4,800 American dollars. Gas cost $5.61. Last year at the time, it cost $4.55. So what they did is they temporarily reduced their gas tax. Sound familiar? And a lot of people in South Africa are complaining because they say it's not enough. Sound familiar? Colombia. I'm going to warn you. Please don't get too upset when I share this information with you. In Colombia currently, a gallon of gas costs an average of $2.17. Wait, there's more. Last summer, a gallon of gas in Colombia cost $2.31. Yes, in Colombia, gas is cheaper this summer than last summer. And the average annual income there, about $5,200. But wait. You know what the government does in Colombia? They subsidize the cost of gas all the time, not just in response to the current situation. That's just the way it's done down there. And they have a fund, and that's what they use to subsidize the cost of gas so that it's more affordable for the people. But that fund is $3 billion in debt. And the government has already said we're probably going to be raising the price of gas. Well, yeah, if the government is controlling the price of gas, I guess they can make it cheap for you, but look at the debt that they're running up. South Korea, gas, $6.33 a gallon. Last summer it was $5.29. Gas prices there are the highest they've been in a decade, and they did reduce their gas tax, and then they reduced it again. But the price is still going through the roof over there. I don't know that monkeying around with the gas